Hello folks, Key of W coming at you with some more Artisan of Glimmith. The only thing I've been working on at all when it comes to this channel. But whatever, this isn't a job. I do what I want. Deal with it. There we go. I feel that's a good, nice, non-combative way to start a video. Anyway, I've moved around looking for a window that I haven't even turned silver yet. So there's one over here in the non-boxy. This is, about halfway down. We're past the town, we're past the forest, we're entering the castle area. I'm just going to do some of these non-boxy puzzles. Going to do some easy ones, see if we can get through them quickly. So no regions are rectangular. So this is the way we know, right? No, right? It is, we can't have this. That's right. Oh no, it's not about that. It's about no region. Okay, I have to remember how this rule works. Been a while. Which means we can't make this shape, because now we got that guy. So am I supposed to start with that? I really feel like if I had been smart enough to revisit this area earlier, remember how this rule works. Well, let's think of how I can arrange this. If I imagine that the colored piece I've got here is the tip of the Y, like the base. It's say tip because on top, if flip it around, it's the base of the tree. There is nowhere I could put it, which stays within the grid. So it's part of something else. So it could be part of, say, it's the central pillar of the branches there, which gives me that arrangement. It could be part of that. Multiple ways to go here. How about this one? Now this piece, that's a possible thing we can do. We can't go around this way because it gives us a box. We could do something like this. Potentially. We can't do this. This makes the box over here impossible because we make a box in the center there. We'd have to bring it up and now it touches that other piece. So we can't bring it that direction, and this of course is bad. The other way creates boxes. This is workable? No. Actually, how do we do this central ring? I should probably think of that. I can't. This ring cannot. Okay, so obviously it can't touch another piece, but it can't envelop itself. That's a box. So it has to envelop that. If that's the case, these pieces down here have to come up at least once, which means this space can't be that. It can't be that. It must be here. That's the only thing I can think of. And now, how would I do this? Well, I could always just say, oh, now I gotta think about this one. This space, I think, has to go here. And then the purple, oh, what would I do with the purple? I could do it the other way. Hold on. Try to do it that way. The purple, I got it. So let's get this guy here. This one comes all the way up. Now we put a purple one there and there. Okay, I think I remember this. I think I remember how this goes now. Non-boxy. Oh, no. All right. So I know we have to cut through in some way. Now, I can't go this way, can I? No, because this piece will always be boxy because it can't connect up there. Therefore, this comes through that way. This won't move left because then it creates a box no matter what I do. So that's got to stop. That's got to be it. That's a box though. That is not a box. That gives me something to work with. This now has to go all the way through here. This is, I think this will do it. Check me out. Yeah. Look at that. Any other twos? I don't feel super confident in here. Let me zoom in a little, maybe I'll see better. That is not happening today. Whatever, I'll do threes, fine, God. Non-boxy. So we know this is going to come out at least that far, so that's going to give us a problem here. This one as well has got to come out at least that far. Well, I can reproduce. If I go any further, there's nowhere to reproduce the shape. So I do have to stop here. I can reproduce the shape right there, which means I have to bring that out. And then this just has to be different. And here it's not too bad. That's it. Again. Alright, whatever starts here has got to move. We can't have a box. And then we can't have a box there, so it's got to do at least this much. How on earth would I make this shape work? That's got to happen. If we made just a T shape. What on earth? Would love to... Okay, if I stopped it here, we have to put a T shape there, which doesn't fit. There's no arrangement of it. So I've got to bring it out further. But I can't make this T shape either. Now I can't bring it up because that creates a box. We've got another shape here that's got to come out. Could I make an H shape? I can make an H shape. I can do that. I possibly could even do that. No. Okay, so the reason is I've thought of this corner piece right here. This piece can't move up now. Right? Because if it moves up, we take that spot. Now we have to put a T shape here. It's not going to happen. So we got to move it this way, right? But if we move it this way, it's not going to match the T ever, and we can't be on both sides of the border. Therefore, we have to have an H shape. Could it potentially go further? I don't know. Probably not, because I'm not totally sure how we'd make the shape over here. So let's, and also we'd have a problem, because then this shape's got to come down. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So we're going to say that the H shape is complete, which is going to give us an H shape here. I think we can do a Y shape. N shape. Yeah, I think actually this is just it. N shape. N shape. And then we just... Neat. Alright, once more into the breach. So we've got to at least bring this, but these have to be two different shapes. But they're the same shape in here. Oh dear. How many spaces? We have 12 spaces to work with in here. Now, I don't think we're going to bring this out as far as that. Because if we make this at least a W shape, there is only one arrangement of W shape. Two arrangements of W shapes that work here. There's actually several. Okay, so there's this. But that's not great because now this has to be the same shape. That can't be it. We have to block that. Now this would have to, yeah, we make boxes. So we definitely have to do, I think this still has to be here, because if we ever have these two be the same, green is red, green is not blue, but red is blue. It doesn't work. So an S shape works, an elbow shape works. But at the very least, we have an elbow shape, and we bring the elbow down. Now, if we bring it to the right, we're screwed. We have a box. So we have to bring it to the left. We actually do have to bring it to the left, because if I bring it straight down for any reason, this is a box. That's a box. That's a box. And this can't ever make a P shape. The green can't. So we do have to bring it left, even if we continue with something else. But then again, we can't bring it down here, because then we either have a box shape here or a P shape. We can't make a P shape with that. So we could make S shapes. That is fine. Is it though? Isn't that shape fine? Let's say we have an S shape here. We have to have an S shape there now. All right, what's the way to do it? There's a box. Doesn't work. So we don't have an S shape, we just have elbows. So this is an elbow, and then this could be whatever we want it to be. That means this is not an elbow, it has to be at least an S shape. And I think that's actually going to clear it out for us. There's nothing else we could do, because the only thing we can go further is a W shape. There's absolutely no way to make that here. So I think this is how we do it for now. Now it's potential there's a P shape here. Actually, I think I can see how I could do that. I think I just magically see it all, right? Like, the only shape I can put here is a P shape, because anything else is going to, well, be a box, right? Because I have to, whatever's in this has to be in that area region there. That's a box. We've made a box here. We've made a box there. We've made a box there. We've got to take all 5 of them. So we have a P shape here, but not there. The only way to make a P shape down here without creating a box is this, which doesn't work because of the delta, or that. So I think we have it, which means we need a P shape here. How on earth are we going to do that? Well, let's start by giving ourselves the elbow shape that we desperately need. And then we got to put a P shape in somewhere. And look at that. We have a just an L shape to be done. That's a great puzzle. How many more of these? 2 more? 2 more 3s I can find? Yes, I want them to be easy. I'm stupid. Alright, let's start with these palisades. If I were to assume that any of these palisades have the walls on the sides rather than top and bottom, they all will have the walls on the sides. Now this can't be a box. This area can't be a box. We're screwed because we have to do, we have a box. Therefore, this one in particular, actually all of them have to be side to side, right? Because if one of them is side to side, then they're all side to side. So this is how we start our setup here. Now, if I were to bring this piece leftward, we will always have a box shape up here, so we got to stop that from happening. Now this blue, the cyan here, has got to extend out. Alright, I think there's only one way to do this in here. The red's got to move up somewhere, right? Now if it moves up here, we have a box, no matter what we do. Well, we know it can't move up there, so this is a different shape. Yes, and whatever's in this shape here has to touch that spot. Only way it's not a box, only way that's not a box. Okay, cool, that is correct. Gotta have a shape in here that doesn't touch. Doesn't... I see. That's it. Sorry. Have to think a little bit more laterally than that. This was a different shape to here, but it wasn't its own shape. It has to be part of the blue shape. Nice. Okay, another instance here. If I make any of these palisades horizontal, they all become horizontal, and now they can't move anywhere, become non-boxy. This is a box no matter what we do. Therefore, we are going to have this happening. These. Which means the dead end here has to be... Ah, I see. We've got to have that dead end, and that dead end. So these have to move in. So these are already non-boxy. I don't have anything to do with these. This has to go so, and that's done. Oh, that's a corner piece. That's not done. Well, this has to be non-boxy, so it has to go at least that far. This one is done. This piece has to go at least that far. Means we're done here. Means we got to go like that. We've got to continue so we're not boxy. I think this is it. Nice! Well done, me! Bonus points for me! Alright, where else shall I go? Let's wander around. What's a good region? This one's still calling to me. I hate this place, but the longer I put it off, the later I have to do it. Here, I'll do one puzzle here. We'll do this 4. Even though this looks like it's going to suck really bad. I have already explained... So yeah, if you are like, I hate watching Key of W play the puzzles that suck because they just get really, really angry at the game. Well, welcome to my life. Feel free to just skip to another puzzle, whatever. I'm not your dad. So, okay, we've got to have 3 regions, that's for sure. Okay, so the game says you don't have to guess at any point. This really looks like a puzzle where you have to guess. How would I divide all of this up? Here, what do we got? We have 45. Actually, so we have to make 15. It's just not fun to make huge ass zones. Like, what do I do? Well, let's start with this. Let's see if we can logically deduce that this corner piece here, or corner, this little cubby, if we suppose that it was blue, we would be in quite a lot of trouble. Because we would need to, that would mean that the circle, whatever, the zone that encompasses a circle, one of the shapes, who gives a shit, has to be at least 9 spaces long, right? Like, it can curve around and whatever, but it's got to have 9 spaces in it, and there's nowhere else to find 9 spaces, so there's no way that's going to be blue. Now, if it's yellow, we have a different problem, is that we can't encircle red too closely. There's not enough space here for red. Red needs a lot of space, and it's 8 spaces long. The only other place to get 8 spaces long is from here to here. So I think we have to determine from that this is red. And if red is here and on this edge, there is no way any of these spaces are not red. It's just not going to happen. So, okay, this puzzle isn't the worst. This isn't the worst puzzle. That means I've got to come up with this shape somewhere. Now, if I do it here, is that the same at all? This looks like a flip of that. Is it? I actually just genuinely struggle. So, I mean, there's people out there who are better at rotating shapes in their head who will not struggle as much with these puzzles. But I think this is the same shape. It's 10. I can imagine 2, 3, corner piece, 4, 2, 3, corner piece, 4. I think those are arranged in the same way. So now it's a matter of finding 5 places. So it's not going to be here, is it? That's no way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, hold on. Can it be? Can it be? Because that means I'd have to take these spots. Which means I have to take these spots. Right, no. No, I have to take these spots. These spots. Okay, this is why it's hard, because now it's harder for me to tell. It's not that one. It is that. See, this is... I still don't think this is good in the same... I just happened to not struggle with it. The first part I did get logically, which I'm so fucking thankful that there was a logical step for this puzzle. But the other ones, it really was like, is this right? I just really don't know. So I will give this one a not bad award. This puzzle was not bad. It still is not a great way to do these types of puzzles. It just feels a lot like you have to have a little bit too much of a bird's eye view. But I'm not going to do any more. I feel like this is an exercise in frustration. I got lucky with a nice, fun puzzle. Let's jump around, get some other things. Probably not fully finish anything. Here, this area. I'm not doing a 7 right now, though. Here, let's do some 4s. Palisades. All right. This all has to be 1 unit. Oh, so we're going to be doing that. This all has to be 1 unit. No walls. Means no walls here. The only thing I have to worry about is the Gemini. This has to be... and now these are all... So I've got to have 3 with no walls on them. It could be this. No? Hold on. I got that wrong. There's got to be just 2 more spaces. Like that? No. How do I make this happen? No, that's not right. These all have to be part of the same... Can it be part of this unit? I don't know. Here, let me look at a blank map for a second. Let's go back here. Whatever. Oops. These for sure, and then now we've got to deal with this. So how do I get that shape? I can't get it going over. So I could imagine a cross in this spot, and then if you move diagonally 1 space, make another cross. So if I did it like this, these pieces, it's going the same direction, which means that there could be a palisade here with no wall, which means either there's 1 there or 1 there to make this shape. So that's what I need to look at. I'm not want to fill that in. That was getting in my way. So I've got to go this way. Oh no. I've got to make more than that. How do I make... Can't make this. So obviously, if I were to make this shape be the only bit of this shape, then there'd be no way to make this work. If I went this way even now, I have to do all of this. Oh, just give me the point where I get rid of the purples. There you go. They're the border on this. I know these have to be part of one shape. This is going to have to be part of a shape. I can make this its own thing all I want. I just have to figure out these have to be part of their own shape, and then this has to be part of its own shape. So the question is, how do I make this all be one? If I did this, and then this, would it be the same? No. If I brought this over here... Oh, this is very much like rotate a big shape in your head. So irritating. Can I put this shape anywhere else? If I brought this over, I don't think I could ever bring these. Right? I mean, the game is helpful enough to say, like, as long as the Gemini doesn't have an X on it, it's theoretically possible for these two shapes to be the same, but... Or I guess as long as one shape hasn't broken the rule of the other. How do I make this shape? Huh. It's definitely that this part of the cross doesn't correspond to this part of it. That's just what I know. I just don't know anything else after that. It corresponds to, like, which part of the shape is it? If I were to bring this out here, for instance. Oh, I can't see it. I can't see it at all. Game seems to think that's fine. Like, it's not gonna... It would have to be... Wait, hold on. That can't be blocked, but it also can't take the shape. So definitely not that. If I take the shape, no. If I block the shape, no. Like, hold on. Taking the shape's fine. Block. What part was it? Was it this way where it started saying I couldn't make the shape? It was if I have all of that, I can't do it. But it could just be because I've got all these other shapes in here. Like, if I just erase them all, the game might be like, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Oh no, it's gonna be one I stare at. It's just gonna be one I stare at and not see. Where am I gonna get this shape? Like, if I say this corresponds here. Right, so this segment, I'm gonna outline. This segment of the blue corresponds to that segment of the purple. Which means I would need to have across these three. I'm going to ignore the palisade for a second. What does this correspond to? These are the same shape. Okay. These are the same shape. Great. Well, this nub is there? No, it's... This doesn't work. Suppose we got that down. There's no way this works, right? Because if I do this, obviously that's not going to work. No, the game doesn't seem to think it's a problem there. Just trying to, in my head, this corner down here is there, but they're inverted, so anything I put here has to go there, right? Let's imagine this is going on. Let's say I did that. This would be wrong, but this wouldn't be right. It would have to be this space here. Unless there's another way to get it going on. Because I know now this has to come out. This has to come out. Maybe it's got another set somewhere? Like down here? Like, if I go this way, is it the same shape? No. No. Oh, dear God, no. Like, it's not going to be enough if I just fill these in. What was this? I don't have any spots 3x3 here. Hold on, let's go back a second. Okay, this is the spot I know. There's nothing you can do about this. So if I were to say there's just 3x3 spot with a chunk missing, if it's here, then this doesn't work. Because there's a corner piece that doesn't... couldn't be just a simple transposition because I don't have any more space up here. Right? It would have to need a space up there. If I made it this way, that doesn't correspond because there'd be chunks missing on both sides. If it was this way, that's a swap, but I would need a piece there. This isn't what that is. Unless I treated this as an invert. No, it's not inverted, right? Because like it's flipped. If it's rotated, I'd still need a piece there. Rotated and flipped, right? So take this 3x3, rotate it counterclockwise so that this chunky corner is this one. But then these two jigsaw bits would be here and there. So here and there. But then if I flip it, it's that way. But this piece can't move any further. This piece would have to move further. Right? We'd have to move... No, we'd have to move more that way. Because it has to go opposite the corner. No, this doesn't work. I just can't see it. I can't see it, and I can't find a logical move. I don't see where the logical step is. Because I can't, it just isn't there. It just isn't there, I can't see it. And this kind of stuff where I'm like, well, I know these are all going to be part of the same unit is not super helpful to me. Because I know these are all part of the same unit, but I don't know which one corresponds to what. So I am very, like, lost and confused on that. If the blue were to take over the red region, does that correspond anywhere here? If it corresponded with this spot here, it would be... It can't be flipped in any way. It would be exactly what that is. which means this would have to take here. That would have to take that, but I would have to take that spot down there. That doesn't work. Nope. Right? Is there any other way to see it? This piece being... I don't think there's any way to do it other. If I imagine that this is this spot here is this brick space, then these two cells belong to these two cells. Like, that's this shape. Which would mean, how do I attach this shape to it? I'm trying to imagine rotating it in my head. Be down here? I'll need to add it 7 pieces. What direction is that from here? It looks like it's just rotated 180 degrees, or flip. Flip. It's down this side. Here, but what spaces are they? It would look like this space corresponds to here. It'd have to go again, but now it has to go both directions. That doesn't work. Right? Okay. I'm going to try to explain. You've got a box there. I hate this puzzle. I hate it so much. Any puzzle that's like you have to make a giant shape that you got to figure out how to rotate in your head, they have been 99% of the time the worst dog shit you've ever seen. Because it's guesswork. There's logic involved, but it isn't logic like, oh, because of this, it must be. I'm going to try literally every possibility till one works, and that it isn't because one of them looks right to me. It's because I'm going to do it till it's done. And if you are a puzzle designer and you see a playtester doing that, you need to quit your job. You just need to start over. You can't have that happen. So I know these are the things. Now, these are extended in L shape. That corresponds there because now this corresponds there. Cool. That is a potential way for the shape to be. But now, what is this going on here? It's got to be in a corner connected either here or there. Is it this one or that one? Now, the trouble is, now we've got this shape circled, right? Here, which is this and that. Now, if I go to this corner, and I assume it's that, I'm trying to assume what is that corner. If I assume it's here, if that is that, right? Well, now this corner would need to essentially be a palisade with no walls, and we've got 2 of them, so it would also need to be those 2. And now we have to make essentially a 2x2 box with it. Great. Actually, probably a better way to think of it is that this lower piece needs to go to both sides, so we'd need a piece there. So that's not going to work. If it's this piece corresponding to that one, how would that be the case? We would need to make a box with it extending out. But then we have the corner box would need to be a palisade with no walls, so that doesn't do it either. Hold on, let's see if I can explain that better. So I need something to explain what that corner is. It's either going to be here, connected to this line and a circle, or connected this line of circle, or there. Now, if I suppose it's here, you see how I've got another box. I've got another box here, and kitty corner to this is a palisade with no walls, which would be there. That doesn't work. Okay, fine. It's here. Kitty corner to this is a palisade with no walls, which means it's got to be those. That is fine so far, but now what is that space? Kitty corner to the palisade, that's this, but the opposite kitty corner is that space, which doesn't have anything. You see, like, the amount I've got to do here to do this, and now all I've proven is this isn't it. Probably, unless I misread the shape, which is possible. Like, I don't know. I just feel like if you're designing a puzzle to the point where a person could get something wrong like that without knowing it, you're just not really a good puzzle designer. This is just not good. Who would have guessed that starting this video, the match puzzle would have been fine, and this would be the puzzle where I'd break down? I don't like solving puzzles like this. I don't want to leave it. I'm going to finish the whole game. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, I'll only play the puzzles that are good. I think if you make a video game with puzzles in it and you say, oh, only complete the puzzles that are good, like, why would you make bad puzzles then? Make only good puzzles. All right, so what if this section here isn't part of the blue? Right? Because if blue touches that, that's where we ran into the problems. If blue touches and doesn't go there, into that spot, will that help me? Because we have the same bit going on. Where this shape here now I've got to have a kitty corner like this. Oh shoot, hold on. Let's break that down again. I would need, if this belongs there, oh my god, fucking. Now we have to get the corner, which now has to be all of those. Great. Problem is, now I need to get the corner here anyway. Right? Is that right? No, hold on. What's this corner? That's corresponding to there. And now that needs to get all 5, which is going to get all of the... Now it has to collect all of those. It's not going to work. Is there any way I don't grab... Is there any way I don't grab... I grab it through there? I'd have to do that. This is terrible. I fucking... See, you see how I'm trying every possibility until something works? Do you notice that? If you are a puzzle designer yourself making a game, do you notice how I'm doing it this way? You never want to see someone doing this. Because I'm not going, oh, it could be this. It's more like I am literally... It's adventure game from Sierra. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking every item in my inventory, one by one, using every single item on every single screen, on every single thing I see until it lets me progress through the game. That's what's happening here. So if you've ever heard of the aha moment in puzzles, that idea, there is no aha moment here. This is just brutal slog. I will not feel smart once this puzzle's done. I will just feel relief that it's gone. How am I fucking supposed to do this? So now the problem is this piece. What is that piece? It's not going to be either of these two. It has to be that one. Great. This is connected to a cross. It's part of a cross. There is no cross here it can connect to. So this isn't it. So from this, I guess we can reasonably determine using logic and not guesswork that these are not the same shape. Cool. Well, now these are the same shape. Based on what? Yeah, there's just no way this is the same shape. Because now, again, we would look at note-wise. This shape is required to be in this one somewhere. Where does that shape go? Not here. If you say, all right, fine, you can rotate the shape. So if this is now, this piece corresponds there, well, this piece, which one of these two is it? Well, you'll notice that it's always opposite of the corner, so it's here. So it's not that spot. That's not the spot you put it. And in fact, there is no spot here you can put it. You have to add more pieces somewhere. Now, if we add this, perhaps we have something? Do we have something with this? Once again, we're guessing. Fucking guessing. All right. Now, this piece that we're connected to is connected to one of the edges. It has to be this one. Does it have to be this one? Let's guess. Fucking guess. That's my favorite. Let's just guess. Let's not know. Let's just guess the answer. That means it's part of a corner. Like, it's got to be part of a square. Which means this is a cross piece. But now it's connected to a cross piece here. I think this is it. Does it look right? Does it look like it can be part of it? This would have to be there. This would have to take these. Is this a shape we can make? That's just the... Yeah, fucking hell. I've noticed the game does this a lot in mid-difficulty puzzles, too. It's not on the easy or the hard ones. The hard ones are like, we're actually going to make you use logic. The easy ones are whatever. The easy ones are fine. Even if I think an easy puzzle is not a good puzzle, at the very least I can say it doesn't make me want to kill myself, because I at least can get through it in 2 seconds. This stuff here, like, sorry, this is just too much. Just horrible. Sorry. Well, I guess you can see another crash out as I'm trying to explain to puzzle designers what you need to do here. Like, if you ever see someone playing your puzzle game doing what I had to do in that puzzle, I wasn't going, this is the answer because I have logically determined. It's, I literally try every single possibility because I don't know which one is right until the game says you got the right possibility. You're correct. I don't feel smart. I don't feel like I'm a smart person for solving this. Bad design. Bad. Take a rolled up newspaper and swat you in the face with this shit. Figure this out, man. I was so high on this game. I still think it's a good game, but I cannot, in good conscience, say it's the best puzzle game ever. You just can't give me shit like that and then say your game is great. Anyway, on that positive note, I'm going to leave and then do something else, calm down, and maybe when I come back to this next time, I'll play some good puzzles. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.